Hey, everybody, welcome on into the ClayShare studio. I'm Jessica Putnam Phillips, and it's time for Live at 5, our weekly live broadcast. And we are continuing on this month of October with GR Pottery Forms as our sponsor. And I don't know, maybe the biggest thing we've been talking about this month long has been what's coming up tonight, and that is the brand new product from GR Pottery Forms that Jeff has designed. And I've got Jeff on the line. He's moderating, so he's connected in, and he's on Zoom, so we can go to him if we need to chat with him. Jeff, do you want me to show it, or do you want to show it?
Go ahead, you get to. I think so.
I get to? Okay, I'm going to
do it then. All right, so here it is. We've been hinting about it a little bit, and you might know of a similar thing Jeff has, but you've not seen these yet because I've been really good at keeping secrets. Here they are, the curvy trees. These are really deep forms, and they're like the Wallies, but Christmas tree forms, and there's 3 of them. Oh yeah, they're amazing. And I'm gonna do the close-up so we can see. Look at them. So you have the small, the medium, and the large. And if you go to grpotteryforms.com, you can get the sizing from there. And I've been having such a good time using them by themselves, using them with my rim templates, using them with the cutters that Debbie from De La Design Gifts has done. Look at these, each one matches up. And if you're wondering what the difference is between these curvy forms and the original tree form that Jeff has, well, I happen to have the original tree form right here. And I just want to show you the difference so you can see. So here's the curvy, here's the original. You're going to get a wider area where food or candy or whatever you're having is going to be placed on
plate than you do, but the back is the same width. Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Jeff. And so I'm just going to line them up. And then you got the depth.
These are deeper, and I love that. So let me go and show you some things that I've made with these. And who guessed trees? I saw some people guessing Wally trees. So those who did that, you get a gold star because you got it right.
You get a 20% off discount.
You get a 20% off discount. That's right. Use the code ClayShare and you get 20% off at GR Pottery Forms. Go do that. We're also, thanks to Jeff, he's donating a set of these that we're going to give away. So a lucky winner is going to get this set. We also kind of have a mini sponsorship happening tonight with Debbie from De La Design Gifts. And she is the one who made these cutters. Remember, I mentioned them just a minute ago. And she's going to be doing a giveaway of a $50 gift certificate. Oh, isn't that amazing? You can use for anything on her site. And she is doing a 15% off, no code needed on her entire site. So if you've been waiting to get some De La Design gift products, you can get those right now, tonight. Get your GR Pottery Forms, get everything. So I just want to show you some things I made. One, I made this using the GR Pottery Forms, the middle size of the curvy tree. And I'll show you the close-up, the De La Designs cutter. And what I love about that is the cutter gives it a really nice rim, but look how deep this is. This is going to be fabulous if I want to use it for a baking dish. So I could make a personalized little, maybe some banana bread or some little cinnamon rolls. You could put those in here. How cute would that be in the shape of a Christmas tree? You could even do the smaller one and do personalized baking dishes for the holidays. So cute and so many fun options. Of course, the big one, you could do a bigger one too. You could have a serving dish size and then individual little dishes. These are also great for candies at the holidays or nuts or any little things that you want to put in here or just to have a cute dish, right? Now, that I made with a clay that has grog in it, and that is what we want to do when we're making bakeware. You could probably make a pie in this, Jeff, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You could do a cobbler for sure. You definitely could do a cobbler, like 100%. I want to show you some other things I made using these curvy trees. Now, I went ahead and used the tree rim templates that we do. So those of you who have this, you can use that with the curvy trees. This is a large one. and I used one of the summer underglaze decals that came out from Sambao Studios. So you can see how cute that is, just a little different take. But I have that depth on the side here. And then I did the next size down. So I got the 3 sizes right here, just using the rim template. So if you already have those and you get these trees, they'll work together, which is wonderful. So it gives you lots of options. And then the other one that I have here is if you just use the form, this is the small one by itself, you can do this really great deep dish. Now, it doesn't have that fabulous rim that you get with Debbie's cutters, but it's still a really nice piece. So if you just get these, you can make little dishes like this. And this clay here this is B-Mix, so it's not my recommended clay to make bakeware. Could bake with it, but it's not the best. But you get an idea what the sizing is, right? This is the small one. This is the medium one. And then we're going to go up to the big one. So I thought we would make the big one. I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah, go big or go home.
Go big or go home, especially when it comes to the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
one of the things I remember when I was a kid was we had those like ice cream Christmas trees. I don't know if you guys had those. You could make your own. You could like pre-make them, like make 6 at a time or something. There's so many fun things to do, right? Jello molds.
Oh, Jello. You could put Jello in there. You could do so many different things with it. Yeah. If you're going to do dips, so you could do a bigger one to have your chips in, and then you can have little individual dips in the smaller ones. There's just so many options.
Nuts, all kinds of things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Nuts, everything. So I'm just going to scooch these out of the way. Now I'm not going to use it. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, I was just going to say, and a lot of people have been asking for these, and I kind of felt impelled to make the straight ones first this year.
Yes.
And then when I made them, I'm like, oh, we got to have, these are kind of nice. We got to have the curvy ones too. And so many other people are asking about it too. So I was like, okay, we're just going to do both. So I'm sorry, maybe you don't, hopefully you don't feel misled that, I pulled a fast one on you, like maybe you buy the straight ones and now you got to buy the curvy ones. But I think they're both different. They have their own kind of, I think
Absolutely.
It's such a different option, so yeah. So I think these are like a great option for, to actually for the Christmas season, or, even Deb has made some, and other people too have made other trees with the Christmas tree shape, so yeah.
Yeah. And I love the different sizes, and here's the thing that we were talking about, how when you came out with the first tree you did a couple of years ago, and everybody loved it and was like, are you going to do more sizes? And you're like, I don't think so. And, but the thing is people asked and people wanted it and the demand was there, and it turned into this. So
yeah. And you know what? I think the other my fun thing, because sometimes we always think about the things that never work out. And when I sent Deb some samples, she already had the cutters. She had already made, and they fit exactly the right size. So
yeah. So Deb has the cutters for this one right here, the original. Absolutely.
But the two small ones, she already had them made too, and was selling them as like spoon rests and other things. So some of you may even have them.
Oh, people might already have these, and that's great. If you do, then you don't have to, get them. You're ready to rock and roll. You're ready to go, which is fabulous. So
great minds think alike. Oh man.
Absolutely. And I loved all the options. So you get different looks depending on how you use these, and depending on what design you want to do, or what you're going to do with it for the end result, whether it's going to be a baking dish or it's going to be a serving plate, or you want to turn it into a bowl. There's so many things you can do. So I love it. I think they're fabulous, Jeff. So I'm 100% on board. You know that. I mean, all right. I'll do a quick little tutorial here. I got a slab of clay I've rolled out to 3/8 of an inch. This is the Laguna 60. And that is my favorite clay to use for bakeware.
Same.
You love Laguna 60 too. Yeah, it's a great clay. It's easy to work with. It doesn't warp. It doesn't crack. It's a really nice toasty color with speckles. And I was just seeing if I don't know if I have anything right here with it. Oh, I do. Here. So here is a little casserole dish I made with your Wallies. Actually, it's an apple baker, Jeff, that I made with your Wallies. And this is the 60 clay. So it's this yummy, warm, toasty clay. And I actually did use Debbie's cutter for this too. And we attached handles. So this can go in the oven and you can do a baked apple with it. And this was a tutorial I did last year, I think I did it. So those of you who love this, go check out the tutorial. You can see everything I used, and then you can go get them while they're on sale, right?
Yeah.
The glaze on this, I believe I'll have to think about it for a second, but it's not chun plum. They're Georgie's glazes, so I got to think for a second. It might be chun plum and seaweed though. They just look really dark. Okay, so here I've got my slab rolled out, and this, believe it or not, is that clay. So that's where I was getting, right? That this is before it's fired. Look at the color. It's really dark. Here it is after it's fired. It lightens up, but you still see the specks. And the reason this is a great clay for bakeware is because it has that grog in it, or if you have a clay with sand, and that'll allow the clay to expand and contract repeatedly, and all of that thermal shock going in and out of the oven that's going to happen to clay over the years of using it. So I'm just going to smooth this out because I did roll it out on my slab roller, which means I got some canvas texture on it. So we'll just take that out. Now, if you want to put texture in this, you can. Absolutely. And I know, Jeff, you know how I feel about texture.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of texture. And I've never had a problem using textured pieces and baking. Like I've never had a problem with it causing more cleaning or the pieces sticking to the pan or anything. It does not hurt it at all. So anybody out there who's afraid to put texture on their pieces because they're going to use it as bakeware, don't be. It'll be fine. All right, so I think what we'll do is I have a box that Debbie sent me today, and I know there's some textures in there, and I hope I'm allowed to share them. I don't know if she's watching. I don't have comments, so
Yeah, she's watching. She's there.
Debbie, the box you sent me. Am I allowed to share what's in there? It's sitting right here. Like, can we share it? Can I use some of it? Can I please? Can I use some of the textures in here? I've got some things in here.
Share away, she says. Share away.
All right. So she sent me some super cute things. Little reindeer. Look at this little skiing bear right here. And Merry Christmas. Oh gosh, those together, super cute. So I thought if we're going to make bakeware, absolutely, we could put those in there. Now, I have a snowflake pin and Debbie has some cute snowflakes. So you could just put these in randomly, or you could use a textured rolling pin like I did here. So that is just all snowflakes, which I just rolled across the surface and went ahead and then put it on the form. But if you want to do a stamp design, I'm going to show you how to do that. A little different technique. There's some little berries. They look like some winter berries. I think they would work with my winter berry pin too, which I do love that they can work together. Here's a baby candy cane. So I've got some things also in here. We're talking about your trees, Jeff. Debbie sent me the cutters to go with your straight-sided trees. So since Debbie is doing that 15% off, if you're looking to get some things, you could get the cutters. I know, why not? Well, they're on sale. So here's the cutters for the straight-sided trees we did a couple weeks ago. And there's some other goodies in here, which I will share. Ooh, what are these? Oh, so these probably will work with the straight-sided trees, but they give you a bit of a scalloped edge. Let me see how they give you a little, like, it looks like a tree that has snow on it, like an evergreen tree with snow. I think those could be really fun too. So I'll have to share some of what I do with those. All right. So for tonight, for this particular first one, we're just going to go ahead and smooth the clay, both sides. And then I'm going to put my form down, and then I'm just going to take my clay and I'm going to drape it. And I find that this technique works best with fresh clay, meaning you just barely rolled it out and
I agree,
are ready to use it.
Right?
Yeah, you agree. You don't
with
wait.
The wallies, the wallies, you want it to be soft, huh?
Yeah, with the wallies, you definitely want it to be soft. And when you're using like a B-mix clay, these yellow sponges are fine. I'm going to grab my purple sponge because the purple sponges, I'm sorry, I didn't have it over with me. I was working at my work table, not my filming table earlier. So the purple sponge from Diamond Core Tools, or you could use a white mud tool sponge if you have them. These right here are really great for groggy clay because they don't pull the grog up. The yellow sponges tend to pull the grog up. So I'm just going to smooth this down along the top. And then the key to using these Wally forms is pulling the clay back towards you. You see how I'm just doing this? I'm just pulling the clay back towards the form. And I'm letting the sponge do a lot of the work. And the sponge is spreading the force out across the area of the sponge instead of my fingers, which you can do that, but I have little hands and little fingers, and they tend to poke into things. So it's not as nice as maybe somebody with bigger hands might be able to just press it back. So I'm just going to go in, and do you see I'm just using the damp sponge and pressing it towards the clay. And you really can work it in there. And this is another reason why we want the clay to be that 3/8 of an inch thick, because as we're doing this, it's stretching it out. Jeff, how thick of a slab do you use when you're making your pieces?
You could, the little bit thicker it is, the more forgiveness you have, where you can squish the clay around. So I still like to do around 1/4 inch because of the weighting, but especially if it has a stoneware with groggy, it's already kind of heavy. So trying to do whatever you can, right?
Yeah, I start with on my slab roller, I have it set to 3/8 of an inch. But then by the time I smooth the clay out, and if I add texture to it, it usually thins it down to to about 1/4 of an inch. That's usually where I end up.
Yes.
That's a good.
But it's really preference, right? And
absolutely.
I noticed too, one thing too, while you're doing that, I think, and kind of talking about thickness, is like, I also like to cheat sometimes as far as the edge. So you can always add a little coil or a thickener band on top. So if you feel like it's really thin and kind of frail looking, you can just add
at the edge, like out here.
Yeah, especially if you're going to cut it straight, because sometimes if you're using Deb's cutters, it has a nice kind of nice edge. But if you cut right along the form, then you sometimes get this kind of jaggedy edge. So
I always like to think it looks like a well-made bed, right? With the form, with the sheet,
Yeah.
You all know what I'm talking about, right? A well-made bed. When you make your bed, I don't know if it's the same anymore, but back in the day, you'd have your sheets tucked nice tight around your mattress. So that's what I think of when I'm making these, like a well-made bed.
Yeah.
And you can, it's a good visual. I think that helps people to understand. And then you just take your finger and you can go along the edge here.
Yes. And kind of like you're doing too, like having a way to make that kind of even pressure all the way around kind of will help that edge as well, right? Like using this like sponge like you're doing, or the rib.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I go back and smooth it out. It looks like it's made of chocolate. It looks so good. How many people do pottery because it makes them think of like candy and food, right?
Yeah.
So if you're doing this and you're getting cracking on your edges, your clay is too dry or too thin. So I would suggest that you either try with clay that's a little wetter or a little thicker. Mine's not cracking, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. And now we're ready to cut. I think maybe we'll go to the overhead because I think that'll show the best. So Debbie's cutter here gives you a little bit of wiggle room, right? And so you just line it up. Try to do it as evenly as you can all the way around.
I think Deb had a good point about, especially with the little one, where there's these little tighter corners on the little one. It's
Yes.
back to the wet clay comment from before. Like, I think that's a good thing to point out that, especially with the little one, that works really good to have. You really need to have wet clay to kind of make it work. Sorry, back to the cutting part.
No. This is why we're doing this together. And
yes,
it's a dual broadcast. I love it. And so all this excess clay, if you want to, you can use it for a foot that I have on the outside, or I can just wedge it right back up and put it back in the bag and use it for something else. So really, it's just whatever I want to do with it. I'm not going to put a foot on this piece tonight. I don't usually put feet on my baking dishes. I usually, serviceable things, feet sometimes can get smacked off, and it's just not the way I usually go. All right, so then I'm going to take my sponge and just go over one more time, but it goes pretty fast. Like, this is a fast way to make a plate. Now, once this is done, then I'm just going to flip it over onto another bat that I have under here. That's the other great thing about these deep forms, the Wallies. You don't have to wait. So you can see how it's pulled away a little bit, but if I want to, I can go back in with my sponge and I can press it closer. So if I want to get a bit of a deeper.
Kim has a good question. She says, would you do anything different if you wanted textured clay or use transfers?
No, I wouldn't. So it depends what I'm doing. Well, I guess I should amend that with, it depends what I'm doing for texture and transfers, right? Yeah. So something like the one that I showed already at the beginning, where it's a sheet of clay, this one right here, grab this up. I put the transfer on the entire sheet of clay, peeled the transfer up while it was still a flat slab. Then I used my rim template and cut my shape out. Then I draped it over this form right here. And then I just had it up, and you can see how that I got my depth from it there. So for the transfer, this particular one, no, I didn't do anything different, but there's options where I'm about to take this form out. And if I want to, and here we go, I'm just going to lift it up, and we've got these little handy handles to pull it off. And
that was fast. Wow.
That was so fast. I just popped it right out. So if I wanted to go ahead and add an underglaze transfer in here, I could do that now. So because we have a flat bottom, we don't have a slope side. I don't really have to worry about that at all if I want to do that. But what I'm going to do is add texture. Now, if I was using a rolling pin, yes, you would do it first. And that's what I did here. So we'll go back to I'll show you on the overhead. This one, I rolled the texture on the entire clay, and then I went ahead and cut the shape out. Even if I was using Debbie's cutter, I would still do the same thing. And what can happen is where we're pressing it, you might stretch the texture a little bit, and you might smear it a tiny bit, but it does stay. Oftentimes I'll put the texture on the outside. So this one's going to be a Christmas baking dish right here. And I am going to come back and smooth the rim out, but I'm going to let it stiffen up a little bit because it's a little soft right now.
I noticed one thing you did, one really important thing I think that you did there was to take your sponge and compress those outside edges. Yes. I think that's a really good way, because that compression is so good. So even now when it's flat on the board there, going along those inside edges on the flat part.
Yes, and, down in here.
Pressing it. So yeah, that part, exactly. That is such a critical part right there.
So now I get to have a little fun with the layout, and I've got little Merry Christmas, and I've got this little bear. So I think we're going to go right in like this, and I'm just going to press the Merry Christmas in. So cute. And then the little bear standing on the Merry Christmas. If you want to use cornstarch, some folks like to do that because it can be a little sticky. It's up to you. It's I think that's a personal preference. Do you use cornstarch, Jeff?
I don't. Sometimes I think it works really good with Debbie's stamps, but that would probably be the only time I would use it. Yeah, and if the clay is just a little bit sticky, then that would help. But
so they're
I try to avoid. Oh yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Merry Christmas. And then we have these assorted little snowflakes, which you can just press in. But you could use any stamps you have, of course, to do decorations on here. And you could do personalized dishes. You know, if you want to make these as gifts for the holidays, you could put whoever they're going to's name on it, which would be really nice, I think, to give somebody a personalized dish. So if you're wondering what you're going to do for the holidays for gifts this year, fear not. It has been already solved for you. All you have to do is make some dishes. And we have 71 days till Christmas, I think. I think that's where we're at. You want to check that?
On the countdown.
Oh, I count it. I absolutely, I love Christmas. I love Christmas.
Yeah, same.
So I want to show you how deep this is. Look how deep that is. This is going to be a nice baking dish. And you can put handles on it, but you don't really need to. The rim is sort of the built-in handle. You can just go in with your oven mitt and scoop it out. But if you wanted to put handles on it, absolutely you could. There's nothing stopping you. So let's go ahead.
That is definitely a Vermont Christmas there.
This is Vermont Christmas, which it was snowing last week. We had sleet today. Jeff, do you guys usually have a white Christmas?
White gold.
White gold, exactly. We love the white gold here in Vermont.
Yes.
Absolutely. Love it. I mean, wouldn't live here if you don't like snow, don't live in Vermont. I'm just going to put that out there.
Debbie said that she rarely uses cornstarch, but it depends on the clay. That's what Debbie said too. I thought that's good input from stamp maker.
All right. So it just depends, right? Absolutely. Yeah. We should do a three-way broadcast. We should have Debbie on, me, you, and Debbie.
Yeah.
We need to do that. Let's see if we could do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Kevin just told me we can do that. I didn't know we could do that. Now we're in trouble because we can have everybody. Wait, how many people can we have? Is a pottery ball?
That was a potluck?
Is it potluck? I mean, it can be. Jeff, you can bring the pie.
I want to bring meatloaf and pie, yeah. Meatloaf and pie.
Jeff, you could do a meatloaf in one of these. Why not? A Christmas tree meatloaf, a macaroni and cheese. Hello, green bean casserole, which is like my favorite thing at the holidays.
And it looks like a pine forest with the.
Oh, it would look so cute. Can you imagine a table just full of all the casserole dishes with all the baked goods are in here? And you could even do, if you do a ham, you could do your ham sliced. And if you wanted to there's lots of other options. You have some bakeware, have some more serving, but all Christmas trees. And I'll do one all right. So Kevin just said he's going to do a smoked mac and cheese in one of these. I'm going to do the baby one quickly. So we'll do that. Cut some clay off. And the other great thing about these is we're not waiting for things sitting on the form. Like, it's instant gratification for anybody that's, like, okay, I got one form and I want to make 10 of these. You can.
Oh, yeah. Somebody also said personalized Christmas pizzas.
Personalized Christmas pizzas, yes.
Oh, yeah. Pies and pizza.
I love the personalized Christmas.
Yeah.
So here I'm going to do one, and I'm going to show you, if you don't have any cutters or templates, what you could do. So I just drape some clay over it. And then again, using that sponge and pressing it in, pressing the clay towards and in. So this would be somebody who's just got the forms. If you're just starting out and you might not want to get a whole bunch of things, or if you're on a budget and you're like, okay, I really want the forms, just get the forms. Everything else can come later, right? Just start somewhere. Got some clay.
Yeah, the little ones would be great for like a classroom too, really, right? For Little Christmas project, Christmas
yeah.
gifts.
Yeah. So Jeff, you have these as sets, but also people can get them individually as well.
Yeah, and if
So
you're
if
a
you're a
classroom
teacher-
and need like 10 of them at a time, then we have a 10 price too. Let us know.
Oh, that's awesome. A 10 price. A 10 pack.
pack.
That'd be a tenner. I don't
Yeah,
know.
let's go right past the 6-packs and go to a 10-pack.
So I do the exact same thing as I did with using the cutter, right? The exact same thing. And then I'm just going to use my finger, but I will be trimming off most of this excess clay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's actually Canadian beer pack. You gotta buy the 30 packs.
All right. So you can get a 30 pack in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. You can only get them 30 packs.
If we look at it, you can see that we have enough clay. We can actually wrap this even more around it. So you can turn it over and you can kind of squish it up if you want to. And hey, I'm going to show you something. If you're using your scrap clay, your leftover clay for the day to do these, and you're just trying to get one more tree out, and you're like, oh, it's not going to work because one corner doesn't have enough clay. Well, haha, no. I'm going to show you. You're just going to take a tiny bit of the excess from somewhere else. You see this corner right here? We need a little bit more. Okay. Now you got a little bit more. You just press it on, smooth it out. And then when you take it off the form, you'll smooth the inside out. And nobody's going to know because you're going to blend it in.
Yeah.
So that's
the fun part of clay, right? You can just blend it in.
So when I do slabs and I'm rolling out a big slab and I'm making platters, and if I have an air bubble in there, I'll just keep smoothing it till it pops. And then I fill it in with some more clay and keep going. The air bubble does not stop me from making at all. Not at all. So to trim this, you just take your clay knife, or if you have the slingshot tool, right? That's what you like to use, Jeff. You could use that to trim it. You could use a harp, a clay wire harp.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have a cutter, clay cutter. It's over there that I got. I don't know where.
Uh-huh.
I got it from some. You know how it is. Who knows where we get things?
Yeah. Totally.
So once I've got all this cut, if any edges are a little uneven, I'm just going to go back in and put a little coil of clay. You were kind of talking about that coil for your rim. You can use it for your sides too. And then we can take this out. And it looks all uneven and messy right now, but that's okay. We're going to go back, and once it's stiffened up till it's leather hard, we're going to take our Sureform tool, which is a Stanley tool. And I have a couple different ones. Jeff, you have your favorite Stanley Sureform, don't you?
Yeah.
I've got two. I got both here. I'm showing both mine.
You got the Amazon one, I think, right?
I've got the yellow. Oh, this is one I got at Home Depot.
Oh yeah, that's Stanley.
So long ago. And then I got this one too, many years ago as well. So I got a couple that either way. So what you do, and I actually did a video, which I'll put up tomorrow, with the straight-sided forms where I did this. And you just take this and you just pull this along, and it basically, like a cheese grater, grates all the excess clay off and makes a nice even rim. And you do this when this is a nice dry leather hard or chocolate bar level of dryness, and it'll work perfectly for cleaning up all your edges. So don't fret about your edges right now. You don't worry about it. You just set them to the side and you come back to it later. So it's not a worry. All right, so we'll set this to the side. We're gonna do, oh gosh,
step away, let it dry, make it successful.
Right? Yes. Sometimes you need to stop and let it be.
Yeah.
It can be hard. It can be hard to do that.
I always joke with people that, especially in a community studio, it's really hard to not make it perfect all the time. But you got to step away, you know?
Absolutely.
You got to surprise them when it comes out of the kiln, how beautiful it is.
Right? I mean, that's kiln magic right there. When things come out of the kiln. So I'm going to show you, if you have our rim templates, the tree, another way you can use these. And I'll do one with Debbie's too, her cutter too. So let's put some texture in. I did that last time. We'll do snowflakes. We'll do snowflakes on this. So I'm just going to roll. My snowflake rolling pin has some texture, some cornstarch on it, because I rolled it across a slab that had an underglazed decal on, and I cornstarched the underglazed decal. So there we have a really nice array of snowflakes. And at this point, you could use a Debbie's cutter and cut it if you want to do something with her cutters, or you could use one of my rim templates. It doesn't matter. It's 6-1, half a dozen the other. I think you get a little different profile. So it just depends what you like. And I like them both, so I use them both. So I just go ahead and cut the shape out. And then we're going to use that smallest of the wavy tree form. And we're going to get a deeper form than we would with the traditional tree form, but not quite as deep as when we wrap it up around. All right, so there we have a cute little Christmas tree. Here's our little Christmas tree form. And just line it up on here. So if you struggle with lining up things, I think Debbie's cutters can be great, because you line them up after. This we line up first, and then we're going to flip the whole thing over.
Yes.
And then we just shape it around. But the same thing, I'm just going to use my fingers to start the shaping, and then we'll go in with the sponge. The same thing as we were doing, though, just because we're not using, we're not wrapping it all the way around, and we have a little bit different shape. And I think you could use other shapes. Maybe if you had a bell rim template, right?
Yeah.
If somebody had a bell shape and they wanted to use that, they could, and have a Christmas tree inside the bell plate.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you lift this up and you want to put it on one of the GR Pottery form spacers, say you want to make all the parts of it go further down and make it deeper, right? So that nothing's impeding it. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to flip it over. These are so much faster, Jeff, than your regular forms. Like, to get them on, and then you can immediately flip it over.
And I never really thought, it's always interesting that you never know until you make something. And I always thought like the sides would kind of slump very quickly. I like those like kind of controlled edges, and so, but because they're so vertical that they just hold themselves up, so it's like
well, it's like
really good.
It's like the technique when you're making stuff and you're having your edge is a little wobbly. If you put scallops in your edge or ruffle your edge, it strengthens it, so it makes it stronger. So here we have our little dish, and then we can go back in, and once it's stiffened up, we'll clean up the edges a little bit. And then I am just going to do a little bloop here. Now you could do a really cute spoon rest. Why don't we make this a spoon rest? Because you have these sides, which are nice and deep. So, it's the holidays, or just any day in the winter, because we got a tree with snowflakes on it. It doesn't have to be the holidays. Or if you just like trees and snowflakes, right? You can put this out in July. Here in Vermont, it would not be out of place. But, if you're cooking something and you have a ladle and it drips a lot, so let's make this a spoon rest. So we just go ahead, and I'm just going to hold the bottom, and then I'm just going to.
Yeah, while you're doing that too, Debbie made a good comment about it too. Is like, it's a good way, especially using the templates too, to use foam and press it into the foam, that shape too, right? It
absolutely
helps you to kind of give you a general shape and control the edge, or be able to repeat it over and over. Yeah.
Well, I love the repeatability, especially as someone who is a former production potter and knows what it's like to have to crank out a bunch of pots. And I know not everybody does that, but you were a production potter, right, for many years. So that time is money. And every second you're in the studio, you need to be making, because you only have so many days to make, because you got to turn around and you got to fire and glaze and fire again, and then get it out to the market and sell it and do it again. Yeah. And so one and done. I'm not waiting. My form is out and I can make another one. And how fast was that?
Yeah, fast, and then consistency, right? It's this repeating that system, repeating the shape over and over. Yeah.
Consistency is huge. Let's do one with Debbie's small cutter then. And I'll go ahead and make something and we'll press it. I'll grab my foam and we'll press it into the foam. Why not?
Yeah, yep.
That'll be great. So let's cut this out. So this could be a great chance if someone wanted to use underglazed decals. The clay that I have here, it's a tan, light brown speck. I don't know. Let me go see what I got for underglazed decals that might show up on this, because that's the question, right? The darker clay looks great with lighter underglazed decals, or if you put a white slip or ongo or underglaze first as a base layer. Of course, you can always just go back in and stick some after. I'm going to cut this out. So, and then I'll go grab an underglazed decal. We'll stick it on there. We'll see what happens. I said I wasn't going to do that in this, didn't I?
Yeah, you can't stay away from those.
Sometimes, it's all the textures. There's just so many options. It's hard to say no. It really is. And
okay. Kevin just brought up a question from one of the other channels that somebody was asking about. What about a snowman? Ooh.
So what about a snowman?
Yeah, I think it'd have to be a blobby snowman, right? Because of these edges and how when you're cutting it. So maybe I know my mom is a big fan of snowmen, so I know she probably would talk me into it. So yeah,
anything we know, it's never say never, right? Like you never know. So
yeah, really, these Wallies give you a whole different option too of being able, gives me a whole different option of what I can cut out because of kind of the parameters of where you're cutting. So there's definitely possibilities of more of those types of things. But but really you could use you could use the trees as a guide to make your snowmen too, really, right? And just make the top round. So all kinds of fun.
So I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, it's a good question. And I think that would be really cute. So here I have the Christmas tree. I'm just going to go ahead and I placed it on an underglazed decal. Normally I would take a pencil and just lightly draw. But we're just going to cut a chunk off.
We're just doing it.
We're doing it. We're live. So a lot of times, if I know I'm going to do underglazed decals, I will plan for it and I will have, them all pre-cut, but we're sort of.
Maybe while you're talking, maybe I can show this because some people asked a little bit earlier.
Yeah, show it.
This is the original form, and this is the Wally. So they're the exact same size. The biggest one are the exact same size. So somebody asked about the cutter. So the cutter would fit exactly that size. So I don't know, everybody loves stacking to make things deeper too, but so it actually will stack right on top of itself too.
Ooh.
But I don't know if you really need that because you already got this depth. But just for those asking. And so that's the comparison of the size and also just a little bit of technical part about these little these are finger pulls. So this will help you pull it out of the wet clay if it gets kind of stuck. So you can kind of hold the clay with your fingers and then kind of pull up on the form. So they're coming with these different finger pulls to help you kind of remove them from the wet clay. So that's really the intention of these. One other thing, we decided that we're going to kind of start moving away from the hole in the middle. But if you really like the hole in the middle to kind of give it a little bit more height, like I know Debbie was doing that with some of those casseroles to give it height, all you have to do is drill a hole in there, a 3/8 inch hole, and that will allow you to put that spacer in there and lift it up some. So, or just put it on something to give it that height too, like or whatever too.
Right, yeah, like another spacer. If you don't want to do it that way, I think it's great.
So totally trying to still give you that option to drill a hole, and you can't really go wrong unless you just drill through. But just you can easily put a hole. It doesn't have to be centered at all. So so it's really easy. Even if you're not very comfortable with drilling, it might be a fun way to feel some power.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's other ways to look at things. Like when you look at these shapes, it's a tree, but maybe it's a cloud. Someone said it reminds them of a certain emoji. But it depends. If you have a sense of humor and you want to make funny plates, I think you.
That's what Amos thinks. He's 5th grader. That's the first thing he thinks of.
See? So, I think. All right.
Sorry, really, one more quick thing.
I'm just going to press this on anyways.
Yeah. Somebody just asked if we could make the OG smaller. Unfortunately, we can't because of these curved edges. It would be it would have to change shape. So that's what I was kind of talking about with where you have lots of changes your options. So because of the saw is removing so much material that you can't really get that much smaller, because we really wouldn't have the top would be different. We might be able to get one more smaller, but yeah, I do definitely like that idea and definitely think it's a valid thing to have a smaller one for the OGs. But let me I'll maybe do some sample cutting and see if that'll will actually work. But my guess is I feel like I've tried that in the past. It didn't work out very well. So yeah, but that's a good question.
That's a good question. All right, so I went ahead and I cut out a piece of underglazed decal. This one's from Sambow, and it was a Christmas one they did a few years ago. And I think that I don't know if he still does it. It's like Santas with snowflakes holding ornaments and presents and things. It's a really cute one. And the colors are pretty bright, and then the blue is light blue. So I think these will pop nicely on the darker clay. Of course, any of the all white ones would work great too. So I just went ahead and I put it on, and then, you can use your ribs to smooth it, and then, tap, 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 tap. Now, we did a demo a little while ago where we went ahead and used underglazed decals and we put texture on it. Actually, I did one many years ago that way, but you can absolutely put texture on an underglazed decal. So if you are a more is more person like I am, and you just can't stand, that's not enough. Like, this underglazed decal is great, but I need more. Okay. You need more. Do it. Put some texture on there. So I'm going to roll in the snowflake texture on my slab. So texture on top. So you put your underglazed decal on first, and then you roll your texture on. And now let's go ahead and peel and reveal. The texture will be very subtle, which is nice. Doesn't detract from the underglazed decal, but it's definitely there. So let me pull it up. And are you seeing the texture on there? It's just very subtle in the background. And of course, I could have pressed harder if I hadn't already cut my shape out. If I was just using a slab that didn't have the shape cut, I would put decal on, and then I could have really rolled the texture in. I just didn't want to distort my shape too much. Here, of course, I could go back in and recut it, right? There's no rules. I'm not like, nobody's going to grade me on this, so I could recut it if I want to. But I thought it would be fun to go ahead and do a plate that was pressed. And I have my foam here. So we're doing kind of a little bit of everything tonight, right? It's like the greatest hits situation happening.
Yeah.
I'm pulling out all the stops tonight. We've got Debbie's cutters. We've got underglazed decals. We've got textured rolling pins. We got GR pottery forms. We're doing pressed plates. What else could I stick some handles on from the Diamond Core Tools handheld extruders? Then do some sgraffito. I mean, we could just keep going. So if this is a little tacky and you're worried about the color coming off of your underglaze decal, you could lightly brush it with cornstarch, and that will set the underglaze decal. And I'll show you how to do that. Since we're here and I mentioned it, I might as well just show you, because I have everything. I might as well just show you. Okay, and then we use cornstarch. So in the studio, I use 2 types of resist: cornstarch or nonstick cooking spray. And it just depends. I would not use nonstick cooking spray on this, because the idea is to try to dry this a bit, just so we don't smear. So that would be a not way to go. All right, so we went ahead and a little bit of cornstarch on there. All you need. Line this up on the form. Line the form up on the shape we cut out. And you could use my room templates too. You could use any Christmas tree shape you find out there in the wild, and you could do this with that. So let's go ahead and press down, do a little rocking back and forth, front to back, side to side, and then pop it out. Now, we could go ahead and leave it like this. Actually, let me just show you. So we can take this off, and you could leave it like this, and you have this really cute, subtle. Oh, it's very cute like this. I'm going to leave it like this. It's very cute. But if you wanted more, you wrap it around more, I would flip it over. I would take my sponge and I would go along the edges here with the sponge, just to form it to the shape a little bit more. And that would give you something more like what we did earlier, or more like this. But I like the subtleness of what we got here on this one. So I'm just going to leave it. It's very cute. And we didn't lose our underglaze decal. We didn't lose our texture. So anybody out there that's concerned about that, don't worry. And then, there's always a little bit of fixing of the edges, right, of the rim. There's just always a little bit of smoothing and adjusting, especially with the pressed dishes. But that's it. It's done. It's really cute, and now it just has to dry.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. All right. Could be a beehive. Oh, Jeff, the cutters with the tree. It could be. Oh, it could totally be beehive. Well, how much do we have? Come on, here. We got time. Give me another piece of clay. We can totally do bee. We can do bee, because I've got a bee texture. And
oh yeah,
it's happening. This is how it goes. Where one thing, this is how it is in the studio, right? One thing leads to another.
Yeah, let the clay talk. That's right.
Right, and it kind of leads you. This is why all these years later, I still get really excited to be in the studio, and I cannot wait to make. Like, I don't ever get bored, and I have never found anything else in this whole wide world that has excited me as much as clay. Like, there's never been anything. Is that same for you, Jeff? Like, it just,
yes,
I love
totally. Like it keeps my attention. That's kind of hard.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. I get that. It's the kind of thing that if I won the lottery, like the 800 million lottery, I would still be doing this. Like, this would not, I would just do more of it. I don't know if that's possible. All right.
You
So
just have 14 people running around helping you do all the things you don't want to do, right?
Somebody else will be cleaning the studio. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the bee, cute little bee texture. Geez, I wish I'd gone bigger with my plate, but that's all right. And then we'll go ahead and cut the shape out. And this one will be a fast one. I'm going to flip it over. I'm just going to smooth the back with my finger. If you have a sheet of plastic, you could use your plastic to smooth the edges too.
Yeah.
That works really, really well. Line this up. Oh my gosh. Anybody need to make 100 of some little dishes or something for a show or a festival? Here you go. This is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Ready? I'm gonna press it. Give it a little rock. Woo! All right. Just kind of press it in a little more, make it a little tighter. Let's grab the first one that I made. I'm just going to scoot that over to the side. And then we'll put the B one right next to it. Grab those handles, pop it out. Look at that. And now I have a beehive.
Be happy.
Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Right? Because we're all making holiday things right now because we need to be. But the holidays are going to come and go. And then you're going to have all your holiday things and you're going to be like, what am I doing with this? Well, it's a cute tree shape and you could put any texture on it and use it all year long. You can make this.
Kristen says you're the best teacher in the world. I think we all agree. So good work.
I tell her I love her. She's so sweet. I love teaching. You know, I didn't know I was going to be a teacher. Like I was a potter before I was a teacher. And then I was asked to teach and at an after school program and I fell in love with it. Then I started teaching a community clay program and it just kind of grew. And you don't always know. And it sort of found me. And I love teaching more than anything. I love teaching more than making my own work, which I do love making pots. But what I love about teaching is that I can instill all that I know into someone else. And then I can see the joy in their face and I can see how happy it makes them. And that makes me happier than making my own pieces, is seeing someone else succeed and make pieces that bring them joy. Like that's the ultimate for me.
Sharing the love.
Share the love.
Share the love.
Absolutely. And then when they show like they're doing it with their friends or with their children or with their mom, it's just like that. It's like I taught this class and this student learned it and then they shared it with somebody else and then they shared it. And it grows. It just grows and grows and grows. And it gives you the best feeling ever. So for cleanup of these, you can take your rib and just smooth your edges over, or again, that purple sponge, great sponge for this. So, wow. Did I make everything? No.
Yeah, you did good.
I could keep going, believe me. So I was saying for the seasons, like this is a summer pattern, which I can use this at the holidays, but I could use it anytime. So I'm not limited to just, and I'll share this when this is finished and glazed. So we made the big baking dish with the Christmas bear stamps on the inside. We made the smaller one that we use the rim template, and the baking dish was with the cutters. Here's another baking dish made with the medium-sized tree form and Debbie's cutter. And then here's the two little pressed ones we did, some different options. So see how quick it went though? Like I made a lot of pots in a very short time. So a lot of folks are saying they never get bored either. And that's right. Exactly. That's why we do it. We don't get bored. We just love it. All right. So we're going to do a giveaway. Oh my gosh, we're almost out of time, Jeff. How'd we get here? We got 2 giveaways.
So much fun. Time flies.
Time flies. This is my life. Like I'll be in the studio and the next thing I know, it'll be the end of the day. And I just don't even know how I got there because I just started. And so this is the thing is I'm always like, oh, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And then you realize I just said I'm going to do a week's worth of stuff in one day. Never. That's why we have that list that you just keep adding stuff on the list. We'll get there, erase something off, put something else on, you'll get there. All right. So Jeff, we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to give away Debbie's cutters, and then we'll give away your set of the forms. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Does that sound good? So Debbie has so generously offered a $50 gift certificate, actually, and you can use that for the cutters, but you don't have to. You could get the stamps. She has other cutters and many great texture options. So if you haven't checked out her website yet, it's DeLaDesignGifts.com. She has so many wonderful things on there. And she's doing 15% off right now, the entire site. You don't have to use a code at all. So the lucky winner, and again, a huge thank you, Debbie, for that. Tonight is Lori Schnitzer. Congratulations, Lori. You have $50 to go spend at De La Design Gifts. And there's so many things there. She has mystery boxes, lots of fun things. She just did some holiday houses like gingerbread houses and haunted houses. So if you want to make some houses, check that out. She was here with us a little while ago and did those with us too. So you can watch the tutorial as a make along. So much fun. All right. Now, Jeff, you are doing a set of your tree forms. So one lucky person is going to get, I'm going to grab them all out since I have them strewed everywhere. One lucky person is going to get these. Not these. They can't have mine. I'm not giving these up. I love them. I'm keeping this set. But you're going to get your own shiny brand new set that you can make all the things I showed and much, much more. And also, if you get these, whoever gets them, whoever wins, but anybody who gets them, use the hashtag GR Pottery Forms. Jeff, do you have any specific GR Pottery Form hashtag you want people to use for the trees, like GR Pottery Form?
Not specifically, really. Yeah, if you just do GR Pottery Forms, that's good. It's
just do the hashtag GR Pottery Forms. I know Jeff likes to share Monday Maker Motivation and share images of what folks are making with his products. So
we might have to have a contest, though. It seems like everybody's going to have fun with these. So we might have a contest. If we do, we'll have a special hashtag for the contest. So yeah.
Can you all hear Jeff? Like a special contest. Yeah. Okay. So tonight's winner. Now remember, to enter all of our giveaways, you just go to ClayShare.com and you sign up for our email list. That is it. Premium members of ClayShare, you are automatically entered. You do not have to do anything at all. You just sit back, relax, watch, and hopefully win, right? So you're always entered. You don't have to watch to win. We will announce the winner here and, of course, email them so they will know they won. So are you ready? The winner of the GR Pottery Form Curvy Tree Forms is Janelle Howell. Janelle, I hope I said your name right. Congrats. You're going to get this set of 3 GR Pottery Forms. They're so fun. You're going to have a blast with them. And you're going to make so many great things. And Jeff is doing 20% off everything, right, Jeff, on your site? Pretty much everything?
Yeah, pretty much everything.
With the code
70% of things, 80%. Yep.
80% of things. Yeah. So many great things. What else do you got for us? Do you have anything you want to share with us before we go?
Thank you everybody for being here.
My gosh.
Especially we switched nights on you, so thanks for coming on Tuesday night. And and thanks for all the well wishes of travels. We're both kind of traveling this weekend, so thank you so much. Yeah, and try to see you all soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. Safe travels to you, because I know you're going to be traveling like we are as well. And follow Jeff on Instagram if you're not following him at GR Pottery Forms. You can go find him there, and you can also find him on Facebook. So be sure to be following and check out his website, grpotteryforms.com, to see all of the awesome things that he has on there. You will find so many great things to help you on your pottery journey. All right.
Huge thank you again for Jeff being a sponsor. Now, Jeff will not be here next Wednesday because he's still traveling. We're going to have Paula McCoy joining us next Wednesday for our Live at 5. I will be back from Vegas, hopefully. Fingers crossed I don't end up in jail. No. I'm not going to end up in jail. It's going to be fine. I'm going to be all right. It's all right. I can go to Vegas without supervision and it'll be okay. I promise. So I just want to share 2 pieces of information with folks. We have a really great workshop coming up October 26th and November 2nd. That's 2 Saturdays in a row. It's a virtual workshop, 2 hours each Saturday for a 4-hour workshop with Laura Rust. It's called Pushing the Clay, and it's a surface texture workshop. And I have shared some of her awesome pieces, but if you haven't seen them yet, I'll give you a quick sneak peek. Look at this fabulous texture that she creates, and she has these fabulous tools that she's designed. You can go to ClayShare.com and find out more about this workshop. Premium members, you guys get 20% off the workshops, so make sure you use that link that we have for you. And our workshops you get forever. So when you sign up for our workshops, you get replays forever of them. And then the other thing is what's happening next at 6:15 p.m., my private class for premium members. We are making this because I had a request for it. This was a slab. I threw it into a plate with a nice deep wall. I am going to show you how to do this. If you don't know how to throw, but you want to make these kind of plates, well, you can use Jeff's Wallies, 100% absolutely, but you can also do it this way, and I'll show you some different sizes and surface techniques that we're going to do with it. And we're going to do that next. And of course, that'll be available as a replay after it airs. So if you can't make it, you can watch that later. Huge thank you to Jeff again for being this month's sponsor. We will see him in 2 weeks from tomorrow, because it will be Wednesday, not a Tuesday. Thank you to all of you for being here with us tonight. And thanks for Debbie for popping on and being our mini sponsor this week. Come back next Wednesday and join me and Paula McCoy, and we'll have some more awesome pottery tutorials for you. And in the meantime, check out ClayShare.com. Thank you everybody for being here. Have a great night.